Everybody, welcome to the Planter Grow Night. This is week 4 of our sequence where we're growing all the way through the year. We do this on a quarterly basis, so you're going to start approximately 2 weeks before the quarter begins. You're going to grow out your seedlings, and then you're going to transplant those into either a hydroponics or a soil-based system. Grow 4 full cycles indoors, and in my experience, that equals up to about 75 pounds of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants per year. So, at a minimum, you can do better than that. It takes up about the same space as a coffee table. It's super easy to do year round. You can do it in a giant city, in a high rise apartment. You can do it in the rural area, or pretty much anywhere in between. So it's really exciting capability. My name is Cliff Hart. You can see down there. I'm the Loudoun County, Virginia community grower, and I'm here to help you through that process. So you can join at any time. Doesn't matter what time of the year. You can grow food year round for your family that's clean, fresh, delicious, better than anything you can get in a store, and oftentimes much cheaper as well. So we are on week 4 of this Grow Night experience. So we're going to be talking about lighting, nutrient system care, things of that nature. This is all part of our free indoor food growing training program. You can see the QR code up there. You give that a scan, fill out the simple form, and you are going to be subscribed to email reminders. So you get emails whenever we have one of our Grow Nights or one of our free virtual live classes that we hold one time per month. Those are our great learning experiences. We take you from basically a black thumb, no experience, all the way up to full green thumb. And then from there on, who knows? Maybe you'll start a farm, maybe you'll become a planter community grower and grow food, indoor food growing services for your community. Lots of exciting things out there. So definitely join the free training program when you get a chance, and let's get things kicked off here. So we're actually going to talk a little bit about grow light essentials. We're going to discuss, what are the requirements for different kinds of plant types and growth. So in my experience, I've used a variety of different lights. Some are built into hydroponic systems. Some are add-ons lights that you can get and then just hang above a hydroponic or maybe above a soil-based system. Lots of ways of doing that. Your minimum requirements for the herbs and greens, so basil, lettuce, things like that, is about 50 watts consumption for lights. You can even get by with just a powerful shop light. I've used those in the past, 5,000 lumens. It has a very nice, intense, dry white light, and that's enough for plants to be happy. Now, if you shift over to a fruiting plant, tomato, cucumber, beans, peas, anything like that, and you're growing them indoors, I'd recommend somewhere between 100 watt to 150 watts of power consumption with that LED grow light. You can get more efficient lights out there. They do exist, even as efficient as 30 watts. But generally speaking, if you just headed over to Amazon and you bought a light, make sure you've got something in the 50 to 100 watt range. Now, once you're starting off and you're growing seedlings, you're going to have that light really close. So ideally about this far away from the lights, especially if it's an LED, there's not going to be any heating issues, or seedlings won't be too hot. Keep those on for 16 to 18 hours. You can back off the lights a little bit as the plants start to grow. 14 to 16 is probably a good amount for most types of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants. There's different kinds of spectrums out there. Much of the LED grow lights that have been produced over the past couple of years has a blended white light, so it's got everything that you need. If you wanted to optimize, say for tomatoes or cucumbers, you could use more of a controlled, say a red-blue mixture light, but it's optional. It really depends on how efficient you want to get, how much more you want to produce in that space. Large hydroponic farms absolutely are going to be using very specific light, extremely energy efficient. They're optimizing almost everything that they can. We don't have to be that picky in our indoor food growing space in our home. We can get great results without going into those details. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Uh, you can avoid leggy seedlings and stunted growth by, as I mentioned before, you want to keep that light really close to those seedlings, and then you're only going to back the light up as the plant is growing. So it's going to keep that light intense right next to it, and then the plant's going to fill out. So to give you an example of that, I actually have one of the seedling packages that we started at the beginning of the process. So these seedlings are approximately 3 weeks old. So you can see some of the seedlings didn't germinate there. That's pretty normal. These seedlings are ready to be transplanted. They are actually beyond the point where you need to transplant them. They've got a couple of full leaves. You can break off one of these rock wool cubes, and then you can pop them right into a system, which we did in our previous live stream last week. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's got lots of great tips as well. But this just gives you an idea of how this works. So you take these seedlings, you pop them into a system, and I've got one of the systems right here, which I'll show you. This is an AeroGarden. So keep in mind that I took seedlings from this box right here, and I actually transplanted them over into this system. So you can see what a week is going to do in between this. So this is how big the plants get in a week in a hydroponic system versus our tray of seedlings right here. So it's great to, once you get the plants to this size, get them into your system, because these plants in another week are going to be big enough to where we're going to start harvesting from them. So they're not quite there yet. And another thing to watch is you can see that the light intensity, keeping that light close to these plants, really makes a big difference. This is an AeroGarden, really easy to do for your greens and herbs, simple to run. It's got just enough nutrients in there to get good results, but it's going to be an easy starter system. So I wouldn't jump right out there and buy like a really huge system to begin with. We certainly want to make sure that you're doing stuff that is easy to get going. So moving right along here, and just a quick reminder, free training program up there. If you want to learn how to do this, you can do this virtually. You can start any time of the year. If you are watching this and it's Christmas time, fantastic. You can do it right now. If you're watching this and it's 4th of July, you can still do it then. It doesn't matter when you start. You can grow up to 75 pounds of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants per year. So it's pretty amazing. Amazing opportunity. Let's shift over into airflow. Super important as you're beginning to start off. One of the downsides of growing in a space like this is that you can experience low airflow, you can experience mold, or fungus might pop up. So it's handy to have a little light like this. This is a simple USB light. It has a small power button on the side. It will clip pretty much wherever you want. So if you wanted to actually put it over your seedlings like so, you can put it on them like this. This does a number of things. It prevents mold and mildew, damping off. It's going to improve transpiration, oxygenation, and it's just generally going to result in stronger seedlings through having some kind of a fan going, some kind of air circulation. If you happen to be growing inside of a tent or some kind of enclosed space, definitely need airflow, because that will help prevent a lot of the problems that you would normally have from those. So make sure that you're doing that. And if you haven't seen yet, we do have a free indoor food growing training program list of basically a setup guide. So it's this QR code over there on the right side. That's going to give you a quick setup guide. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, essential materials that you're going to need to get going. And you can jump straight in and join us as part of this process. So maybe you're coming in a little late, no problem. Start November, December, and then continue your indoor food growing right into the next quarter as we start 2026. You can do this 4 times per year. So it's really exciting. So just give that QR code a quick scan there, and you can get access to that setup guide. All right, so light intensity and height. Light hanging height for seedlings, greens, and fruiting plants. A few things to keep in mind here. Your light, you want to keep it close as the plants are small, similar to what we see for these plants right here. This is probably as low as we can get it, and it's a good height. As the plants are growing, we're going to lift that light up like so. I'll show you. It's got a telescoping option on top of the box itself, and you're going to have a light that's higher up. But these plants are still really small, so we want to keep that light really low down towards them. Different ways of doing these hydroponic systems. This is a box system. There are vertical systems. So you might have lights that are hanging on both sides of, say, a vertical system, or maybe on 4 sides around it, depending on what kind it might be. It could be a tower, for example. Those same principle, keep the lights close in and then back them out as the plants are growing. And there's a lot of different tools out there for measuring light intensity. There's lux meters, also apps that are going to be helpful for you. So we do have an app that we recommend called the Plantin app, and I'll put that code right there. So you could try this out. It's an indoor plant monitoring app called Plantin, and you can get a free trial. PLNTHQ1 gets you a free trial for it. Plantin app's nice because it's going to combine information about how to grow the plant as well as nutrient deficiencies. If something were to come up, you can actually scan the light environment for your plant, and it's going to tell you either not enough light, just enough, maybe you don't need quite as much. It's all built into one app, works on iOS, Android, and we've got that helpful little QR code there right there. So you just scan that, put in PLNTHQ1, and you're ready to go with the discount there. So I wouldn't worry about this kind of monitoring too much unless you get into really specific kinds of growing. You're growing a type of dwarf tomatoes indoors. You want to optimize your production there, or maybe several of them under a little bit more expensive lights. Then that could be helpful. But generally speaking, making sure that you're keeping the right distance between the plants, and you are keeping the plants with the right light on for the right amount of time is more than enough. You're going to get great results that way. So moving right along here, troubleshooting some issues you might have with lighting. So stretching, yellowing, leaf curling. Stretching is when the seedlings, they're like really long and thin. So if you keep that light low or increase the intensity of the light, that's going to solve that problem. Usually you're going to see a difference probably within a week. Yellowing leaves could be a combination of different factors. So poor airflow, improper nutrients, too much light. And you can kind of get a sense of it at the seedling stage. If you see these start to yellow and you've been watering them and the plugs themselves feel kind of sponge wet, that means that you need nutrients. So you can use a watered down nutrient, say like a Miracle Grow, water it down to 75% less strength, so about 25%. And then you could do a bath on the roots only. Don't splash it onto the leaves. You want to keep the leaves clear of all of those nutrients. They are pretty powerful. And you can do that a couple times a week until you get these plants up to the stage where you're going to put them into your hydroponic system, your soil-based system, whatever you like. Really easy to do there. So curling or crispy edges could be heat stress. It could be low humidity. In a hydroponic system, it might be where calcium is locked up. It's not actually being released. So in that case, I would recommend cycling out the nutrients. So pouring out the nutrients, putting in a fresh gallon of nutrients if you haven't done that for a while. That can sometimes help. Lighting can always be a helpful factor though as well. So lots of good tips in there, and we do have a helpful guide for, just to remind you, we do have a helpful guide that includes a lot of different information, and that is our indoor food growing video training playlist. So this video will join other videos on it that can take you from nothing to a full harvest of 75 pounds of food indoors in about the same size space as a coffee table every year. So all you have to do is just go to this training playlist, work your way through it, use our easy startup guide, use the recommended supplies, and you can start growing food for your family indoors year round. 4 crops per year of greens, herbs, and fruiting. 4 crops per year of greens and herbs, and then 2 full crops per year of fruiting plants like tomatoes, cucumbers, things of that nature. It's all in this training list. It's free for you on YouTube. So take advantage of it. Please throw in the comments anything we can do to help you out. If you have questions, if there's a system you've never used before, if you need help with something, do let us know. But we've got lots of different resources to help you out there. So, just a quick reminder, if you happen to be in the area of one of our indoor food growers, our community grower program, for example, I'm in the Loudoun County, Virginia area. I grow a unique bundle of seedlings that you can pop into any hydroponic system or light growing based system year round. So when you join one of my live events, which we have coming up on the 12th of October, you can actually choose whatever kind of system you want and take home a batch of these seedlings, pop them right into your system, and you're going to be harvesting usually within 1 or 2 weeks, depending on what kind of system you have, kinds of plants you're growing. But it's a really great way of getting the first hard part done for you, so you never have to worry about did the seedlings germinate, how big are the plants. You can just get an easy to use bundle of these kinds of plants, pop them into whatever seedling growing system, hydroponics or soil, and then start growing. So it's really easy to do. And if you don't happen to be near one of our community grower places, for example, I'm in the Northern Virginia / DC area. If you're not around us, no problem. We've got that free training that's available up there. Or in addition to that, we do have a remote course package that includes indoor food growing consulting, live video help. So this is 2 hours of one-on-one consultation with one of our community growers. It includes 4 digital courses, that video training, a growing package, and a lot of help. So if you have gone through all of the videos and you feel like just not quite getting it, I would really love to have some live help. We do have people that can help you with that using one-to-one video training as well as other resources. So really easy to get started. If you just click or let me bring up that. Yeah, okay, here it is. So if you scan the QR code here, and we'll put the links to this in underneath at the bottom in the comment section as well, then you can actually get access to this anytime. So for most people, they're okay to start a little bit on their own, but you always have questions. You've got a new system, you don't know how to put it together. There's always times when you would want some help. So we've got a nice package that can help you through that process. Totally optional, free stuff's right here. Lots of free things you can follow along and grow with us every quarter, totally for free. But if you need any help, we've got some help for you right there. So moving right along here, we always highlight people that are growing food indoors around, basically around the world. Because we can do this indoors any time of the year, we have 365 days of food growing. You never have to hang up your gloves if you're growing food for yourself if you do it indoors, and there's a number of advantages. But one person that we actually found who's growing indoors with a new kind of system is at Els_veggie patch on Instagram. And she's got a nice little video that she shared of a system that I hadn't heard of, an Uruk looks or Uruk. Very similar kind of box system to this Arrow Garden that I just showed you. It's got all the same kind of components, seeds, plugs, baskets. It's going to grow quite a lot of small amounts of greens and herbs, and really easy to set up. You can see that all she did was just pop the baskets down into the holes, and she's going to put the plugs with the seeds in there in just a second. And then that's basically the whole setup. The only thing left to do after that is to pour in your nutrients. And so those are the coconut coir plugs that are being popped in there, and those have the seeds. You're going to pour in your nutrient solution at some point after you've got everything in there. Turn on your light, use the app to activate the system, push the buttons, whatever might be the case. This Arrow Garden is super simple. There's no app involved. You just basically fill it up, turn it on, and it starts right off growing. So it's really easy to use. So looks like she's putting some seeds in there. Yep. Yep, she's just about done, and that system actually has a light that comes out up and out of the way, so you can move it out of the way when you're getting set up. So really exciting, lots of cool stuff that she's doing there, and we'd love to highlight you. So if you would do a hashtag my indoor food garden anytime on any social media, we'll pick it up and then we will highlight what you're growing with. So it's a lot of fun. Preview for next week. Thanks so much for joining us. If you came in halfway through, my name's Clift. I'm the indoor food growing training community grower for indoorgardenmarket.com. We have a free training program that is listed up there. Just scan that QR code or go to indoorgardenmarket.com, sign up. You get reminders, you get tips and tricks, you get discounts on supplies, you get to grow along with us through 4 different quarters of the year or 2 different 6-month halves of the year if you're growing a tomato, cucumber, something like that. So next up, we've got harvesting and pruning tips. That's coming up on Saturday, October 19th. It's going to be live on YouTube, just like this. Lots of other things to help you to grow more food. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'll just bring up our setup guide just one more time so that you got it. Here it is. So this is the free indoor food garden setup guide. It's got step-by-step instructions, different materials that you can buy, recommended places to get them, and get going. So just want to reiterate here, you can grow more than 75 pounds of food indoors using LED grow lights, using hydroponics or soil techniques. That equals out of a couple of pounds of food a week on average, and it is totally year round. You never have to wait. You could start in January, you could start in July, you can get great results anytime you want. Take down a system, cycle it, get a new system. It couldn't be any easier than it is. It is truly a remarkable time that we are living in to have these systems, because if you've got a spare space in an apartment, in the city, in the back room of a suburban house, and you install and you operate any of these indoor food growing systems, you can reliably produce as much as a farm. Cheaper than grocery store in many cases, energy efficient, delicious, endless varieties of things to grow. It's really, really exciting. So thanks so much for joining us. From everyone here at indoorgardenmarket.com, be sure to follow us and also share with hashtag my indoor food garden on all social channels to grow along with us. So thanks so much, and we're going to see you at the next indoor food growing training program. It's going to be next Saturday, same date and time. And